Okay, welcome everybody. David here, New View Safety Coach. Let's give this article review process a whirl. See how it turns out. I'm not 100% sure of this, so any feedback, comments, improvements, as I mentioned in my intro video, please feel free to let me know because, yeah, it's the first one I've done and no doubt there is plenty that can be improved. So, a little bit of a change to the setup. Ring light's still here, and let's look at the mic. On here, got my pale blue polo shirt for this one. Got my laptop open as opposed to, I usually have it flipped so the screen and camera closer to me, but I need to get the Google Doc that I've been working on today on the screen, so I'm not looking at my other screens and throwing you off. It's also easier for me. Win-win. So that's a slight change. We'll see how that works. If that's not too bad, I might keep this setup always. I quite like having some information here, though I don't have to keep on looking away. I went through the original article as per Ben Hutchinson's advice, picked out key themes, points, and bits of information of interest, highlighted them, open up another document, condense those highlighted sections even more, copied and pasted them, and I've gone in between those with my own script. So I have written a script for this. Lead-in sentences, leading questions, something to try and tie it all together. So the idea at the moment being, and hopefully this pans out in post-production, is text that I've got highlighted in black will be projected somehow onto the YouTube presentation. The text I've got highlighted in orange is a visual reminder for me that it's not going to be projected, it's just me talking to you, or it's a part of, it could still be part of the article, but it's me talking to you. So I've tried to break it up between text on the screen and me talking. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Let me know, please. Anyone watches this, any feedback, much appreciated. So let's crack on. 3 minutes gone already, so let's crack on. So the title of the article is Academic Background and Credibility in Effective Coaching Effectiveness. Academic background and credibility in executive coaching effectiveness. Received 1st of October 2013, revised 9th of February 2014, accepted 7th of April 2014. Authors, and I'm going to get these names wrong because I don't know how to pronounce some of them. Gil Bozer, Gil Bozer, James C. Sarros, and Joseph C. Santora. As I mentioned in the intro, I will put all these details in the description down below. The majority, I'm not going to bother with formal referencing on all quotes I put up on the screen. Just assume if it's up on the screen, or even if I'm saying it, it's likely a direct quote from this particular article. Okay, let's get on. So, the abstract. Their purpose. Little empirical research has examined the role of coach characteristics in coaching success. So the purpose of this paper is to address this gap in the literature by identifying and testing the relationships between a coach's academic background in psychology and credibility with executive coaching effectiveness, as reflected in greater levels of individual outcomes. And what were their findings? Findings. A coach's academic background in psychology was positively related to executive coaching effectiveness as reflected in greater improvement in coachee self-awareness and job performance as reported by the direct supervisor. Further, coach credibility was positively related to executive coaching effectiveness as reflected in higher mean scores in coachee self-reported job performance. So let's look at the introduction that they have for this article. The authors proceed by giving an introduction to executive coaching and giving a theory as to why it has increased in popularity since its inception in the late 1980s. Executive coaching is gaining in popularity as a key management development intervention for organizations in building the strategic and management capabilities of executives. Zhu et al. 2012. The emergence of executive coaching is seen as a response to the rapidly changing global economy, where continuous employee development has become a critical component of an organization's effort to adapt to the volatility and complexity of change. No et al. 2010. But what does executive coaching hope to achieve? Coaching is an inherent part of attaining and maintaining executives' awareness and insight into their own performance. Ashford et al. 2003. This opportunity for executives to learn more about themselves and how they are perceived in their work is vitally important to leadership. So, how do the authors define executive coaching? The authors define executive coaching as executive coaching is a relatively new discipline evolving from an outgrowth of developmental, educational, psychological, and organizational practices in the mid-1980s. Hernez, Broom, and Boys 2011. While there is no universal definition of executive coaching, the different forms of executive coaching share certain defining characteristics. This personal outcome-based activity focuses on interpersonal and intrapersonal issues, e.g., visioning, action planning, teamwork, Green and Grant, 2003. A review of empirical coaching research provides some significant support that executive coaching is an effective intervention in an organizational context, i.e. Bozer and Sarros, 2012, Evers et al., 2006, Smither et al., 2003. However, research containing randomized controlled trial studies with agreed upon outcome measures is still in its infancy. Dahan et al., 2013. While not exclusively focusing on executive coaching, a recent meta-analysis that includes most of the studies mentioned above, Boom et al. 2014, indicates that coaching has a significant positive effect across 5 categories of outcomes, namely job performance and skills, well-being, coping, work and career attitudes, and goal-directed self-regulation. The authors then go on to define the effectiveness of effective executive coaching as something that has both proximal and distal outcome. Proximal outcomes refer to the immediate individual, behavioral, attitudinal, and cognitive changes experienced by the coachee. Distal outcomes, on the other hand, are the ultimate purpose of coaching consists of enhanced well-being and functioning that may lead to individual and organizational success. Let's go back to the title of this article and look at how the academic background of the coach can influence the effectiveness of executive coaching sessions and the role they play. The authors propose that a background in psychology is highly advantageous, as graduate training in psychology and experience are considered among the top credentials for executives when choosing their coaches. Wesley Laishim, I've definitely pronounced that wrong, my apologies, 2003. The skills taught within psychology subjects can also be of benefit in the long run for coaching services, as coaching psychologists were more likely to use multi-source behavioral ratings as diagnostic assessment tools. This will further assist the industry by providing reliable quantitative and qualitative measures to coaching outcomes. The professional relationship between the coach and the coachee obviously has to contain an element of credibility on the side of the coach, as this aids the process of feedback to the coachee. Feedback provided by the coach is an important cognitive and behavioral mechanism for executive coaching. The relationship between the feedback provider and feedback receiver, a salient influence of the outcome of feedback processes such as coaching. Kluger and Denisi, 1996. One of the key factors in this relationship is source credibility. Atwater and Brett, 2005. The method the authors used for their research design and sample included: we conducted a quasi-experimental pre-test, post-test design study. Participants in the pre-test and post-test were grouped into experimental group and untreated control group. The experimental group was comprised of executives who signed up voluntarily for coaching provided by 4 Israeli coaching firms, their coaches, and their direct supervisors. The control group was comprised of executives from the same organizations as the executives on the experimental group. One of the 7 measures used was that of the coach's educational level, including highest degree obtained and academic discipline. One of the author's theories was partially supported. H1 was partially supported. A coach's academic background in psychology was positively related to coaching enhanced self-awareness and improvement in job performance, as reported by the direct supervisor. The outcomes and further research all support the theory that coaches with degree-level education in psychological fields carry more credibility with executive coachees. This is partially because of their particular training in psychological dynamics and adult development, their understanding of personality and performance assessment, and their skills in listening and counseling, establishing, handling, and maintaining confidential and trusting relationships with coachees. Another of the author's theories received support during the research analysis. H2 received some support. Coach credibility was positively correlated to coachee self-reported job performance. So, what did the authors conclude from their research for this article? Our findings may assist industry and educators in improving academic background and credibility. Let me read that again. Our findings may assist industry and educators in improving academic background and credibility at the formal preparation of coaches, and in better identifying and selecting competent coaches. And here's the big one. Secondly, our study provides greater insights about the type of individual outcomes executive coaching can achieve and the conditions that increase the likelihood of coaching to be more beneficial for executives. Specifically, 2 coach characteristics were associated with perceived coaching effectiveness. First, a coach's academic background in psychology was positively related to coaching effectiveness as identified through improvement in coachee self-awareness and improvement in job performance as reported by direct supervisors. Second, a coach's credibility was positively related to coaching effectiveness identified through improvement in coachee self-reported job performance. Developing trust and competence in coaches helps build their credibility and leads to beneficial coachee work outcomes. More research on this finding is therefore recommended. So, there we have it, people. Education does make a difference. So stay in school, kids, and thanks for watching.